Hello. So we are continuing with the Math 125 Gateway, and we are on question 88. So this one, as you can see, we have the chain rule here, and also here I have a function divided by another function, so I know I have to use the quotient rule here. Now let's go ahead and start. While dealing with this, you can see this is like one big X raised to the power of 2/3. So I know I will just apply the power rule here. So if this is equals to 2/3, I will keep whatever is in the parentheses just as it is. Okay, now remember I have to subtract 1 here. Now what is 2/3 minus 1? It is supposed to be negative 1/3. The derivative of the inside prime. Okay, now I'm going to keep whatever I have in the first half. This is tangent pi plus x. That's negative 1/3. Okay, now let's start the derivative. Times, now we are going to evaluate the derivative. So now, the derivative of the inside, so derivative of 1 is 0. We don't have to worry about that. Negative sign from this. Now, derivative of the top, sine pi minus x prime times the bottom minus derivative of the bottom times the top. All over the bottom squared. Okay. Now if we evaluate this derivative, this will be, still have my negative here. Derivative of sine from here we know is cosine, but then I have derivative of pi minus x, derivative of pi is 0, derivative of minus x is negative 1, so I have negative 1 times cosine pi minus x times, I still have my tangent pi plus x minus, now what is the derivative of tangent? When we look over here, the derivative of tangent is secant squared x, and derivative of pi plus x is 1, so I don't have any minus to multiply with or any factor. So this will be secant squared pi plus x. Now I have multiplied by sine pi minus x all over tangent pi plus x all squared. Now when we write the final answer together after evaluating the derivative, this will be equals to 2/3 1 minus sine pi minus x over tangent pi plus x all to the negative 1/3. Now let's evaluate this negative sign. When I multiply this by a negative sign, this negative becomes positive. So I have, but still I have it in parentheses. I have cosine pi minus x tangent pi plus x. Now remember I'm multiplying through by negative sign, so this becomes positive, plus secant squared pi plus x sine pi minus x all over tangent pi plus x all squared. And this is our final answer. So, or alternatively, we can solve this question much more easier than what we just did, because the moment we realize, oh, from the trig identity, actually this is exactly equals to sine of x. Also, this is just the tangent of x. Okay, you might say, well, sine of x over tangent of x, how is that easy? And the moment we realize, well, sine of x over tangent of x, I can write it as sine of x times, I know tangent is sine over cosine, but I have 1 over, so the reciprocal of that. So I'm going to have cosine of x over sine of x. Now this sine of x cancels this sine of x. So actually everything here just becomes cosine of x. Now that is much easier. So then I can write this as 1 minus cosine of x all raised to 2/3. Now this is clean. To take the derivative, we are still going to apply the chain rule. Now derivative of the inside is, now what is derivative of 1? Derivative of 1, or let me just write the rule. Let's do the power rule first, right? Because it's easier that way. So we know from power rule I can just bring the 2/3 to the front, 2/3, repeat whatever you have inside, don't forget to subtract 1 there, minus 1/3, times, now let's change color. This is part. Okay. 1 minus cosine of x prime. Now, let's evaluate this derivative. This, just the derivative part equals, derivative of 1 is 0. I don't have to worry about it. Now, what is the derivative of cosine of x? Well, lucky for us, we have it here. That's negative sine of x. But I have a negative sign here, so it becomes positive sine of x. Then you can see in the next step, our final answer becomes 2/3, 1 minus cosine of x. This raised to negative 1/3 times what we evaluated a while ago, which is sine of x. Now this is the final answer.